absolutely. Now, I told you off air when you called in that I just read your program. It's not been released yet. I guess it's coming out today that you're releasing Operation Copper Shield, which is something you're unveiling as your plan to fix the border.
So, Russ, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we've never seen the kind of illegal activity at the border that we do today. And you guys in Yuma know it more than anybody. You know it up close and personal that,
Sure.
the fentanyl coming across the border, the illegal, human trafficking, sex trafficking, gun trafficking, people from, over 115 different countries apprehended at the border right there in Yuma. And Title 42 is about to expire, so we're going to see roughly double the number of people coming across the border when Biden lets that happen. And, the voters in Arizona, all across the board, all sides, all parties, independents, conservative, Republicans, Democrats, everybody's concerned about the illegal activity at the border, what it's doing to our state. And we've got to stand up and take the law into our own hands. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution says explicitly that the federal government shall protect the states from invasion. And this is an invasion by the cartels. We know it. And so we've got to stand up and do more than just lip service and point our fingers and say the federal government needs to take care of this. And that's why I'll be unveiling Copper Shield today. And we're from day one, as governor, I'm going to declare a state of emergency, triggering the funding and the law enforcement powers. I'm going to deploy 1,200 armed National Guard troops at highly visible locations, establish smuggling routes, and then grant rules of force to those soldiers and airmen so they can detain illegal immigrants. And first and foremost, they're going to tell them, no, you need to go back across the border. I think under Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution, when we're being invaded, it allows us a lot more flexibility as a state to be able to do these kinds of things. So we first and foremost tell them, no, you need to go back across the border. If you do come into Arizona, we will apprehend you. We will incarcerate you. And I'm going to be asking the state legislature to immediately appropriate in a special session $200 million. $140 million of that is going to go to the National Guard, and then $50 million of that is going to go to the Get 'em Task Force. So that's going to be to hire more DPS folks, to provide more funding to the county attorneys so that they can prosecute, the smugglers and even people that violate our criminal trespass laws, which is vastly most of them. And you guys know it more than anybody when they're tracing through, the lettuce fields and harming crops. So this is basically just empowering our National Guard to apprehend and use rules of force and to do everything that they can to first and foremost tell them, go back across the border. If you come in Arizona, we will arrest you. There'll be money then for available out of that money I'm asking for makeshift jails, including tent-like facilities like Arpaio did with Tent City in Maricopa County, because we're going to take this really seriously. And the cartels, they're a money-making operation. Everything about them is kind of like the mafia used to be. They're charging, between $5,000 and $10,000 a head to smuggle people across the border. And once they realize Arizona is not going to be a pushover state, they're going to realize that they're going to have to go to other places to do their dirty work, places like maybe California and New Mexico, because Texas is taking this very seriously too.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that we'll be doing are going to be in line with what Texas is doing. And I'm going to be in close communication, as I already have been, with Governor Abbott, the governor of Texas, so that we're working very, very closely together to make sure that we're stopping this illegal activity on our borders.
Now, reading your release on this, and I don't know if is it on your webpage now? If people want to see it, can they get your webpage?
No, it will be up. We have actually, Russ, I'm just announcing it on your show.
Okay.
This is the maiden voyage, and so I'm announcing it on your show, and then we're going to release it to the public when I hang up.
Now, Mel, I think it's the first I've ever had. I've never had a first. It's a first for me to have a first.
All right, well, that's good.
but you had, as an advisor, Ron Colburn, which is well known and respected in this community.
Absolutely. He's been working with me on this plan for several weeks, as has former Sheriff Paul Babu.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of confidence in them. I've talked, to countless, people on the ground, including, your own sheriff, Sheriff Wilmot. As I've really been trying to get a handle on this. And look, I know this is bold, and I know a lot of the liberals are going to have a knee-jerk reaction. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. You know what? The fact is, we will do it, and we're going to send the bill afterwards. That $200 million I'm asking for, I'm going to send the bill to the federal government because they're not doing their job. They are not doing their constitutional job, and I believe that we finally have a constitutionally minded Supreme Court that gets it, and all bets are off now.
Well,
it's time to do what we got to do.
In your plan, you mentioned Article 1, Section 10, and it's just never been used. It's not that it can't be done, and the federal government has seriously not done it. They haven't taken care of their job.
And Russ, the situation has never, ever been this dire. We know that 92% of the illegal fentanyl coming into this country is coming across that border.
Yeah.
And we also know that it is the number one killer of people ages 19 to 35 in this country. I mean, let that sink in. We've never been in a situation like this ever before, and we can't afford to just play the same old stupid blame games and then wait for the federal government to do something. How long have we been waiting?
And it's getting worse. There's no plan to fix it because the Biden administration is too busy blaming everyone else for it. He doesn't take responsibility, and there's no plan to correct it.
Well, not only is there no plan to correct it, Russ, but when Title 42 expires, supposedly on May 23rd, the problem is going to be exacerbated greatly.
Yeah. And by the way, I heard fentanyl deaths were 107,000. That's like 2,000 people a week. In fentanyl deaths? That's insane.
It's crazy. I talked to a mother of a high school boy while I've been on the campaign trail, and she said that, he was a high school wrestler, and, he injured one of his shoulder muscles. So he ordered a muscle relaxant over the Internet, and it was laced with fentanyl, and he died of an overdose.
Oh, my.
There has been no economic, demographic, group of people that hasn't been touched by this.
Okay.
I actually have two really close friends from high school that lost children.
Oh,